Elon Musk's mysterious video message, created for just one person. I made this video for one individual only. Yes, you, the one watching or listening right now. Not a broad audience, not millions of viewers, but just you. Please leave a comment below telling me which state you're tuning in from. Because what I'm about to share is something I need you to hear personally. It's a message crafted specifically for where you are in your life at this very moment. Here's why this message is meant for you and why it's crucial you hear it today. You've been carrying a heavy burden, haven't you? Something that lingers in your mind the moment you wake and stays with you until you fall asleep. Maybe it's anxiety about your health, your family, or what the future holds. Maybe it's regret over decisions made, or not made. Maybe it's a loneliness so profound you hesitate to admit it. Perhaps you feel like life has slipped past you, like the meaningful chapters are behind you and you're just waiting for what's next. Maybe you wonder if you still matter, if anyone would truly notice if you disappeared. I'm speaking to you because I know you're there. Something inside you brought you to this message, a spark of hope, a search for meaning, a desire to feel better about your life and your place in this world. You might think someone like me couldn't possibly understand what you're going through. You might believe that success, wealth, or fame shields people from these deep questions about purpose and value. But here's what I've learned through years of building companies, facing setbacks, and enduring public scrutiny. The core struggles of being human don't vanish with external achievements. Questions about whether your life matters, whether you've made a difference, whether you're loved and valued, these questions touch everyone, no matter their status. I've met billionaires who feel hollow inside. I've met celebrities who feel invisible in their own lives. I've met highly accomplished people who wonder if their achievements mean anything beyond fleeting recognition. And I've met those with little material wealth or fame who radiate peace and purpose. People who seem to grasp something about life that others are still searching for. The difference isn't in what people have or have done. It's in how they see themselves and their place in the world. It's in their understanding of what truly matters and what gives life meaning. So here's what I see when I think about you, not the details of your life, which I don't know, but the essence of who you are, a human being who has lived long enough to gather real experience and wisdom. I see someone who has endured hardships that could have broken them. Maybe these were major events, loss of loved ones, serious illness, financial struggles, family conflicts that seemed insurmountable. Or maybe they were smaller, persistent challenges, years spent caring for others while neglecting yourself, decades in unfulfilling jobs, daily battles with pain or disappointment that slowly eroded your spirit. Yet, you're still here. You're still thinking, feeling, caring about what comes next. That alone speaks volumes about your strength and character. It shows you possess resilience deeper than you might realize. I see someone who has learned lessons only experience can teach. You understand patience in ways the young cannot. You know which problems truly matter and which only seem to. You've gained perspective from weathering many seasons of life. You've discovered that most worries never materialize, and many crises turn out manageable or even beneficial over time. You've learned resilience grows by facing difficulties, not avoiding them. You've learned about love, not just as a feeling, but as a daily choice to care for someone's well-being, even when they're imperfect, disappointing, or when love demands sacrifice. You've uncovered strengths you didn't know you had, discovered what you can endure, forgive, and rebuild when everything seems to fall apart. This wisdom isn't theoretical, it's earned through real pain, growth, and experience. It's a treasure not just for you, but for everyone whose life you touch. But here's what I suspect: you might have lost sight of your own value. You might be so focused on what you've lost or can't do that you overlook what you've gained and what you still can offer. Society often sends messages, sometimes subtle, sometimes blatant, that older people are less valuable, less relevant, less capable of meaningful contribution. These messages are not only false, they're harmful and wasteful of one of our greatest resources, the wisdom that comes with experience. The world needs what you have learned. It needs your perspective, your wisdom, your example of living with dignity and grace despite life's hardships. It needs people who understand life is about more than productivity and achievement. Younger generations need to see that aging doesn't mean becoming irrelevant or useless. They need role models who continue to find meaning and purpose throughout life's later stages. They need to learn from those who have faced challenges they will one day encounter. They need to see that wisdom is earned through living, mistakes, consequences, adaptation, growth, and love despite loss. Your family needs your wisdom and love, not just your presence, but your active involvement. They need your perspective on their struggles, your encouragement when they falter, your example of handling life's difficulties with grace. They need to hear your stories, not just the joyful memories, but honest accounts of how you navigated challenges, made tough decisions, and learned from mistakes. These stories are gifts only you can give. Your community needs your participation and care. It needs people with time and experience to notice what's happening, volunteer for causes, be neighbors who improve life for everyone. Communities need those who remember how things used to work, who see recurring patterns, who offer perspective on problems that seem new but are old themes in disguise. Most importantly, you need to recognize your own worth. See yourself as someone who still has important work to do, contributions to make, relationships to nurture. This isn't about denying aging's realities or pretending limitations don't exist. It's about understanding your value isn't tied to physical ability, productivity, or independence. Your worth comes from who you are, the character you've built, the love you give, the wisdom you've gained. Let me share a story about someone who embodies this truth. Her name is Eleanor. She's 82 years old. A few years ago, she attended one of my talks, and afterward, we had a conversation I often think about. Eleanor told me she'd felt invisible and useless since her husband passed away 3 years earlier and her children moved away for their careers. She felt like she was just occupying space, waiting for the end. She had stopped believing her life had purpose. "I wake up every morning and ask, what's the point?" she said. "My children are busy with their own lives. My friends are dying or moving to assisted living. I feel like a burden, someone people check on out of obligation." Eleanor had been a teacher for 40 years, a profession she loved and where she felt she made a difference. But retirement left her feeling lost and disconnected. She tried book clubs, senior center programs, hospital volunteering. Nothing filled the void. Then something changed. Her neighbor, Maria, a young single mother, was struggling with her 3-year-old son's behavioral issues. The child's tantrums could last hours, leaving Maria exhausted and overwhelmed. One day, Eleanor heard screaming next door and saw Maria crying in her backyard while her son threw a fit. Without hesitation, Eleanor offered help. Over the next hours, Eleanor noticed behavioral patterns Maria hadn't seen. She recognized triggers and ways to redirect the child's energy, drawing on decades of experience with children and grandchildren, and teaching techniques passed down through generations. Eleanor began helping Maria regularly, sharing parenting strategies, teaching patience, consistency, and understanding that children often act out when scared or overwhelmed. The child's behavior improved dramatically. Maria's stress eased, and she began enjoying motherhood instead of just surviving it. Eleanor discovered her years of experience gave her something valuable to offer. She wasn't useless or irrelevant. She had knowledge and skills desperately needed. "I realized I wasn't waiting to die," Eleanor told me months later. "I was waiting to live. Waiting for someone to need what I had to give. But they were there all along. I just had to notice and be willing to help." Now Eleanor supports several families in her neighborhood. She's become a grandmother figure to children whose grandparents live far away. She's a wise counselor to young parents facing challenges she remembers well. She tutors struggling students using techniques from her teaching career. She helps elderly neighbors navigate healthcare and insurance, drawing on experience caring for her own aging parents. Most importantly, Eleanor has reclaimed her sense of purpose. She wakes each day knowing she has important work, people who depend on her, contributions only she can make. Eleanor's story shows that finding meaning in later life isn't about returning to what you once did. It's about discovering what you have now that others need. Your experience, wisdom, and perspective are precious resources the world desperately needs. Your experience is valuable. Every challenge you faced, every problem solved, every relationship navigated has taught lessons someone else needs. Your wisdom is essential. The perspective gained from living through many cycles of change, economic ups and downs, personal and societal challenges is priceless. Your presence matters. The way you handle difficulties with grace teaches others how to face their own. The love and loyalty you show over time demonstrate true commitment. The joy you find despite losses shows happiness is possible even in hardship. But you must choose to see it this way. You must choose to believe your life still holds meaning and purpose. You must choose to seek ways to contribute, not just to get by. This choice isn't always easy. Some days, limitations and losses feel overwhelming. Doubt and self-criticism grow loud. You might hear voices telling you you're too old, too slow, too out of touch to matter. You might feel tempted to withdraw, stop trying, accept the narrative that your best days are behind you. On those days, remember this message. Remember your value isn't tied to productivity, independence, or physical ability. Your worth comes from who you are and what you offer as a human who has lived, learned, and loved. Every day you engage with life instead of withdrawing, you make a difference. Every act of kindness you show matters. Every conversation where you share wisdom teaches someone. Every relationship you nurture models love and loyalty. Every challenge you face with dignity inspires resilience. That's why I made this message for you, because your life still matters. Your presence is important. Your story is still unfolding, and some of the most meaningful chapters may be the ones you're writing now. You might think the best chapters are behind you, but that's not true. Some of your greatest contributions may lie ahead, the chapters where you use all you've learned to help others, create meaning, and leave a legacy of wisdom and love. You don't need to be famous, wealthy, or powerful. You just need to be yourself, the person shaped by your experiences, challenges, and growth. That person is enough. That person is valuable. That person is needed. But be honest with yourself. Recognizing your value and living from it is an ongoing choice. It's not a one-time decision. You'll sometimes slip back into old doubts. That's human. The key is to notice and gently redirect your thoughts to truth. You have lived a full life filled with valuable insights. You have love and wisdom to share. Your presence makes a difference, even if it's not always visible. Choosing to value yourself also helps you value others. When you see your own worth despite flaws and losses, you become better at appreciating others despite theirs. This creates a positive cycle in your relationships and community. As you treat others with respect and appreciation, they respond in kind. Focusing on strengths rather than weaknesses fosters an environment where everyone feels valued and motivated. Your choice to embrace your worth influences how your family views aging, how your community treats elders, and how society values people in later life. By modeling self-respect and engagement, you challenge ageist stereotypes. By showing that wisdom and experience are treasures, you help build a culture that honors its elders. By demonstrating life's meaning at every stage, you give hope to younger generations worried about aging. This influence is especially important in families. Your children and grandchildren watch how you handle aging, loss, and purpose. They learn from your example what it means to age with dignity and grace. If you model victimhood and self-pity, they fear aging and see elders as burdens. If you model resilience and growth, they see aging as a natural, rewarding part of life. The message you send through your later years becomes part of your legacy, the gift of showing future generations how to live fully at every stage. I hope you see this in yourself. I hope you recognize your worth and act on it. I hope you stop waiting for permission to matter and start knowing you already matter more than you realize. The world is better because you're here. Those who love you are blessed to have you. Your experiences and wisdom are gifts only you can give. Don't waste those gifts by convincing yourself they don't matter. Don't waste your time believing your best days are behind you. Don't accept a diminished view of what's possible. Your best days might be the ones where you fully embrace who you've become and what you offer. Where you stop apologizing for existing and start celebrating your life. Where you use your hard-earned wisdom to make a difference in someone else's life. This understanding can transform how you see yourself and how you experience every day left to live. It can change you from feeling like a burden to knowing you're a blessing. From apologizing for your space to appreciating the space you fill. From focusing on limits to celebrating possibilities. From dwelling on losses to treasuring what remains. From feeling forgotten to knowing you're remembered and loved. This message is for you because you needed to hear it. Because somewhere inside, you're still hoping your life has meaning and purpose. Because you're still searching for reasons to believe your presence matters. I'm here to tell you, it does. You do. Your life has value far beyond your own experience. Your existence makes a difference in ways you may never fully see. The people you've touched carry your wisdom and love forward. The lessons you've passed to children and grandchildren will reach future generations. The kindness you've shown creates ripples that last long after you've forgotten. You matter. Your life matters. Your presence makes a difference. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, someone feeling invisible, useless, or forgotten. Someone who needs to remember their life still holds meaning and purpose. Subscribe if you believe every human life has value, regardless of age or circumstance, and that the wisdom gained through experience is one of our greatest treasures.